Welcome back to Burn and Barrel, and today we're going to be reviewing Jack Daniel's 14 Year. Jack Daniel's, as many of you may know, is located in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's is famous for their Old No. 7, which is their base level Tennessee whiskey, but they also include varieties of whiskey, such as limited releases, more common shelfers, ryes, bottled and bonds, very different types of whiskey. This particular bottle is their newest release in their age-stated series, which includes a 10-year, a 12-year, and this brand new 14-year limited release. The bottle itself is the exact same as the other age-stated bottles with this kind of cube-like shape, which is also a 700 milliliter bottle, unlike their standard 750s. And now, let's get right into the review. So I've gone ahead and put up some of the Jack 14 here, so let's just get right into the review. So, we can look at the color on this, and my goodness, the color on this is just super dark. And you can tell here, like not even close to the camera, like that is dark. And which, obviously you'd expect, a 14-year Tennessee whiskey from Jack Daniel's is just gonna have that kind of color. I was just sniffing a little bit because I'm already getting the nose from this. Like I'm holding it here and I'm getting notes. But 14-year product, Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So obviously, this is gonna have that kind of darker color. And this being pretty much cask strength anyways at a 126.3 proof, I mean, it's not gonna be watered down. It's not gonna be any shortness of aging. You're gonna have a dark, rich color on this. And I know at some point that the aging of a whiskey or a bourbon can be too much. Like I know a lot of people who've had, 20-year bourbons, even 18, 16-year, just depending on the distillery, but even those higher age, because typically you get like from 4 to 6 is typically better, 6 to 8 is typically better, 8 to 10 is typically better, so on and so forth. But usually it varies by distillery, but usually you get to a point where it just becomes too much aging, way too rough, like way too much going on, or it starts to lose its coherentness, or starts to lose the notes that it had when it was a younger age. So even with this, typically the older a whiskey gets, the better. But at a certain age of the whiskey, it just starts to decline a little bit, at least from what I've seen. I haven't really tasted a lot of super old products. This may be the oldest product I've ever had. I don't know if I've had anything over 14 years that I can remember. But yeah, so this one, this is the highest age stated from Jack. So I can't say definitively this is the limit because I have heard rumors that they're probably going to produce some newer ones that are older soon, but that's just a rumor. I have no idea. So before we really get into the nosing and the palate, I will preface, I have had a sip of this already, so this is not a fresh review, just because when I got this at a bourbon drop, and I got it for MSRP at $150. I couldn't help myself. I had to try it. This was something that I was ecstatic to get, and I can tell a little story with this. So I was in line, and I was talking to this guy in front of me, and he was an older gentleman to me, and then there was an older lady behind me. We were kind of conversing in line while we were waiting for the store to open. We were kind of talking about what we were going to be getting, and so I had mentioned, obviously if I could get it, because there was a Jack 10, 12, and 14, and there was like plenty of Jack 10s for me to get one. I was like 16th in line, so I was going to have, I think they had maybe 3 cases, so maybe 18 Jack 10s, and then they had like a case of the 12 and the 14. So I knew at minimum I would be able to get a Jack 10, but I already have one, so I was really hoping to get like a Jack 12 or 14, because the other ones were like an Old Forester birthday bourbon, which for $200, which I've heard they're good, but to me, I can't rationalize something being all like low 90 proof and that expensive. I don't remember what the age statement of it is, but still, just to me, I want something a little bit higher proof than that, and definitely got some age on it too. And I just heard typically, though, birthday bourbons are good, just don't you wouldn't want to seek them out. But everybody's palate's different. So, but the guy in front of me was adamant on getting this Old Forester birthday bourbon, considering I think there was only a case of them as well. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to be getting the Old Forester birthday bourbon, without a doubt. That's what I'm going to be getting. Or maybe there was 2 cases, 1 or 2 cases. But eventually we ended up, by the time the store opened, I ended up moving up to 11th in line, since surprisingly, don't know why, 5 people in front of us in line just didn't show up. So I got to move up some spots. And there was people that grabbed the birthday bourbon. There was people that grabbed a couple other things. I can't remember off the top of my head what some of the other whiskeys there were. But I know the Old Forester birthday bourbon was one, because the guy in front of me was adamant that this was overrated and that he just wanted to stick with the birthday bourbon. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, like, teach their own. What I didn't expect, was when I got to my bottle, to the table, out of the 6 Jack 14s that were there, only 1 was taken, so there was still 5 left. So even if you were like 25th in line, you still had a decent shot of getting a 14. And the Jack 12s, I think were only like 1 gone as well. So even if you were like in 30th, like you still could have gotten a Jack 12, which was just crazy to think about. So I got the 14 because a lot of people, because he wasn't the only one, there was barely any birthday bourbons left. So apparently a lot of people wanted the birthday bourbons. Again, if you like the birthday bourbons, good for you. I haven't tried one personally, so I could be missing out. But just from what I've read and what I've heard from people, it's good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good. Just, you know, that's about it. It's just good. So I knew that I like Jack's. I knew that their stuff was gonna be good, so I definitely wanted to get this. So anyway, that was a little story of how I acquired this. So when I got it, I just couldn't help myself. I had to try it already. So I've already got a little bit of an idea of what I'm getting into here, but I do want to share this again with you because it's been a minute since I've tried it, because I want to slow down on how much I drink of this when I savor this for good occasions, special occasions. So let's just get right into the nose. So like I mentioned in the beginning, I've just been getting notes this entire time. Like I can smell them from here. Like I don't really need to get into the glass. It helps, but like I can smell them like right here. Like it's definitely not a weakness of this bottle. The notes I'm definitely getting like that typical Jack banana. Like it is just, but it's dark. It's like a banana bread, like a really dark. And I'm getting a little bit of a caramel in there too. Definitely a mature oak. Like you can tell this is an aged product, which is always super nice. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of goodness on that nose. Very good stuff. So let's just get right into the palate. Man, like this is my first sip of the day, so I'm kind of adjusting to it. It's got my mouth like just watering. So when I first taste it, I get just an immediate burst of that banana again. That oak is pretty front and center. Like it's there, but it's definitely not over oaked yet. Like I think it's definitely a lot compared to the 10. The proof has a good bit higher, but the oak presence is just that much more there. But it's not like a really tannic oak. Like my mouth's not dry. In fact, it's like very like I'm started salivating immediately as I took a sip of this, and it's still like there. I'm not getting a very drying and tannic effect like I normally would on a lot of different really oaked, really high aged stuff with a lot of oak in it, which is super nice. I like that kind of feeling when I drink something with some oak. So it's got that mature oak. It's got that banana bread again, like a dark banana bread. I got like maybe a little, I got a little cherry on the nose too, and I maybe kind of get it, but not really. Kind of lose that getting into the palate. But it's really just like really savory, like a nice, almost like a barbecue note, like a nice honey sweet barbecue or a brown sugar barbecue, just really dark and savory sweetness there. An oak that goes with it really nicely, a banana to remind you that this is a Jack Daniel's product. And then, yeah, it just kind of all melds really well together. And now that my palate's acclimated to it, it's not as abrasive in the beginning, just because of the higher proof and some of that oak. It's super nice. Like, the balance is just there. And then as you get to the finish, I get, again, that oak carries through, but it honestly just becomes simple on the end, and that's all it has to do. Like, it becomes oak, caramel, the vanilla, like your typical, and then you get like a little baking spice in there too. A little like a little tingling on your mouth of like something spicy. Not temperature spicy and not like hot spicy, but full of different kind of baking spices you would see. So I mean, it's just the finish just continues going. And when I first sipped this bottle, what I did was I had a pour of this, and then over here I have typically what is one of my favorite bottles is the Woodford Double Oak. I have a pick of it over here, and immediately I took a couple sips of this, washed out my mouth with some water, and then took a sip of that Woodford Double Oak. It was like water compared to this, just the strength of it. And that's a typically sweet bottle, but the sweetness and balance of this one just blew that away. Like, and I have high regard for that double oak pick that I've got, and it's again one of my favorite, just double oaks in general, and especially double oak picks if done right. So considering that for me personally, it blew that out of the water, I was just like stunned. And so then I also did the same thing, kind of took a drink of water and tried the Jack 10 after I took another sip of this. And again, it just didn't compare. I actually still was like, this is way too low of proof compared to this, and the flavor strength is just not there. Now again, I may be doing a disservice to those other two bottles because I'm not trying them on their own. But I think it's still kind of fair to compare them back to back like that with water in between, obviously. And this one just has that strength that those just don't. The potency on this is great. It's not overpowering. The balance is there. Honestly, trying it the first time and still trying this again the second time, I still affirm that this is probably the best whiskey I've tried to date. I mean, again, there's so much goodness in there, and I already was a big Jack fan. So if you don't like Jack's profile, I'm not talking like the old number 7 and the Gentleman Jack. I'm not talking about those lower tier. I'm talking if you have single barrel proof rye, or even just the regular Tennessee whiskey, or even like the barrel select, like not even the cask strength versions. If you like that profile, you will love this, because obviously it expands a lot on that, but that core is still there. This is a Jack Daniel's product right there. And so for me, it's definitely the best whiskey I've ever had. A 10 out of 10 for me. I think it's pretty much perfect. I could get really nitpicky if I wanted to, but on first glance, or first taste and second taste, like, I still have the same verdict. Like, there's just nothing really wrong with this. It's just, if this is just a bourbon, or excuse me, a whiskey that I could just sip whenever. It's not one I have to be in the mood for. It's just something that I can sip and just have a really nice or fantastic experience with it. So definitely with this bottle, I'm going to be saving for special occasions for me. Definitely not going to be drinking this every day or nothing. I need to savor this, especially for the $150 price tag. But speaking of price, if you are someone that can get it for this price, or just get it at all, but especially if you can get it for this $150 price, absolutely worth it. I know there's a typical rule for people where every year of age it's worth about $10, and this doesn't adhere to the rule perfectly. Obviously, it's a little bit more than the 14 years, so it would be 140, and it's 150, so it's a little bit more. But honestly, I think that even so, this is worth it. Now, would I pay secondary for this, like $300 plus? Probably not. That's a lot of money, especially because in my head that means I could get 3 bottles or 4 bottles that are $80 and have 4 times the amount of liquid for the same price, and it be like 75% is good, 80% is good, because there's a lot of good sub $80 bottles. So would I buy it for that price? No, but I think for $150, probably even $200 would be the most, I think 150 to 200 is a good range for this. I wouldn't be spending secondary. Like if you can get it at most 200, and if it was 200, I'd still have to think about it. Even now that I've had it, I'd still have to think about it if I was gonna get another one. But if you can definitely get it for the $150, it is worth every single penny. So to reiterate, I think this has a lot of good things with it. It is near perfect, pretty much perfect in my opinion. One of the best whiskeys I've ever had. It's the best whiskey I've ever had actually. So far, and it's gonna be really hard to beat it. So if you like Jack, or if you like Jack, I think you'll like. Even if you don't like Jack's profile, I think you'll still really enjoy this. It could maybe turn you into a Jack fan, but I think any whiskey enthusiast or anybody who enjoys a good whiskey will have a fantastic time trying this bottle.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this review of Jack Daniel's 14 year. If you want a summary of this review, please check the description below alongside the link to Jack Daniel's website. I have also done a distillery tour of Jack Daniel's, which you can check out on the channel as well. And of course, don't forget to check out the videos that are on screen and some of the other reviews I have done on this channel as well. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time here on Burn and Barrel.